Hi, this is Uncle Thor here, and I'm going to talk about something about the Yew Tree Rune that might surprise you, also known as the Yew Rune or the Yew Tree Rune. I like the name we always used was the Yew Tree Rune among ourselves. So, be that as it may. I was doing the little train show I used to do every December. I did it from like 2000 to 2011. It was a nice little train display that I was involved in. And on the weekend of the train show, I had drawn runes, and I got a Yew Tree Rune. And our car broke down. And I did it again the next day, because my wife was supposed to drive out and pick me up and load up all the trains, and the car broke down again, and I got the Yew Tree Rune again in the same position. And several months ago, we were driving out towards Howell Township, or as I like to call it, Howell Clownship, and we ended up hitting something with our tire. It seems there was a piece of curb that was sticking out a little too far, and boom, we ended up with a flat. And it's funny because that morning when I had done runes, that Yew Tree Rune came up again. And so the Yew Tree Rune, obviously, at least for me in divination, can manifest as car trouble. What the connection is, I don't know. It just doesn't fit with the attributes of the Yew Tree Rune, although it could be killing car trouble. But I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. I thought that was very unusual, because there are many who see the Yew Tree Rune as a death rune, as a dire thing, because the yew has that connotation. It was planted around graveyards, for instance, believing that it would keep the ghosts inside. And so it does have its aspects that connect to the dark world, which, I'm not saying dark as negative evil, just dark. In heathenism, we have the luxury of saying light and dark and not giving them the moral judgment of good and evil. It's light and dark. It's neither good nor evil. It can be good and bad, and that's one of our freedoms. So I don't know, maybe this is a reading, my readings come from the dark side of the room. But I just thought it was an interesting thing to consider, since the Yew Tree Rune has a very rich in meanings. And it does have that darkness, but again, it's not an evil darkness. And it's something to look into, especially when you're new to heathenism and you've always been taught darkness is evil, the Lord of Darkness. Well, you find that darkness isn't evil. That in times it can be very comforting. Remember, we don't place the moral value judgment. We don't have to. We don't have an absolute God and an absolute devil. We don't have these ridiculous concepts of good and evil that the monotheistic churches have. So, things can be what they are without any kind of negative moralistic connotation. Something to consider. This is Uncle Thor here. Have a good one.